Anyway, on to brighter things. So, NBA season is happening right now. Switching lanes to the NBA. It's a very exciting time. Like we've talked about on this podcast before, the NBA, in my opinion, has more talent right now than it has ever.
Yeah.
And so we can debate the rules and the referees and the shooting of three pointers and is the game soft or hard or whatever. But it's fairly undeniable that the level of talent and athleticism and skills is just amazing. Down to the ninth and 10th player on each
Hmm.
team. They can handle the ball, they can shoot the ball, they can drive the ball, they can play defense. There's long length, there's strength. And so what that creates is opportunities for more dark horses and underdogs to rise to the top of the food chain. Where if you look back in the past, it was generally like literally three people who would dominate the league, like a Jordan Magic Bird type situation. These are the names. Now, I mean, you have any given night, somebody can go off. You can have um, the guy from the Hawks, Trey
Oh
Trey
yeah,
Young.
Trey Young.
Trey
Yeah.
Young
Yeah.
can go off one night. You might have LeBron James go off. You might have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You might have Anthony Edwards. You might
Hmm.
have Karl Anthony Towns. You might have Jalen Brunson. You might have Jimmy Butler. There's so many different people who can go off, and not even just the stars of an individual team, but the team as a collective.
Yeah.
You can find a team who's ranked 12th in the West might beat a team by 20 points who's
Yeah.
ranked in the top two. So that creates interest, that creates viewership, positivity. The thing right now that's creating negativity or unideal nature in the viewership is the amount of three pointers these guys are putting up right now. It's a lot of threes. So naturally, people are doing the math. They're going threes count for more than twos. So if we put up these threes, the teams who are winning, like the Boston
Hmm.
Celtics, record shooting amount of threes.
Yeah.
In the past, you have the Golden State Warriors shooting threes.
Hmm.
And so people follow suit, right? And that's the way trends go. So what's your opinion on all this, the state of the league as a whole?
I think that there's a ton of talent. Like there's a ton of talent in the league now, which is really good. But also like there may be a little bit too much threes happening right
Mm-hmm.
now. At least too many threes going up. The interesting thing is like what I'm seeing as far as the way that everybody plays defense.
Mm-hmm.
The the mentality of playing defense is still to protect the inside, which is super weird to me
Mm-hmm.
because everyone's always moving with the driver. I think that's like natural basketball instinct that you move with the person who's going inside. But I'm like, if you know most likely they're gonna shoot threes, like why not be okay with giving up more twos
Mm-hmm.
and then staying on 3-point shooters if you know that there's a higher chance they're gonna shoot it, and obviously the three is an extra point.
Yeah.
So that's the part that's like been confusing to me.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like it's still pretty attractive. It's just the viewership is gonna go down because basketball is known for going inside, hard nosed, dunking, blocking shots, things like that. And the fans really come to basketball to see like people get dunked on. Like
Right.
it is what it is.
Right.
And so that's probably why the viewership is down because everybody's shooting 50%
Yeah.
threes right now.
Yeah. Crazy. Like
Yeah.
50% threes is such a high number, in terms of amount of threes shot, but then also in terms of amount of threes made. I mean, you
Yeah.
have guys who are shooting it at a 40% clip, consistently. And so to take, 10 threes and make four of them, that's really impressive in
Yeah.
terms of like the ability to shoot. But like you said, fans are looking for crossovers, they're looking for one-on-one, they're looking for dunking, and they're looking for that kind of thing. They're not really looking for long rebounds and three attempts at a three in a row, which you're seeing often.
All the
You
time.
see
All
drive,
the
kick
time.
out, miss three, offensive rebound, kick it out, miss three, offensive rebound, kick it out, miss three, we're going the other way.
Exactly.
And the fans in that situation are like, let's go to the concession stand.
Yeah, people
So,
people want to see like people still want to see LeBron drive the lane
yeah,
and people like get dunked on or
yeah,
people get out of the way because they know who he is or
yeah,
John Moran or anybody like that to come into the lane. They're like, I want to see that guy dunk. I want to see Anthony Edwards go and
yeah,
dunk.
yeah,
And you're like, okay, well, we want a little bit more of that and then less threes. Threes have been like an additive to the game, but threes have never been the focus of the game like it used to be now.
yeah. What do you think about rule changes or ways to combat this? I've considered it, and these things are most likely not going to happen anytime soon, but some ways that I've thought about combating it is one, starting to have no more three-point line, which would kill the statistical era. That's why that's never going to happen. But having no more three-point line, going back to
Going back
nope,
to what it
it's
used to be,
yeah, it's
old
old school,
school.
like everything counts as a two type situation,
Yeah.
and maybe give people a little bit more, make it more advantageous to get closer to the rim, kind of get
Hmm.
back to the old school,
Yeah.
or switching it to where a dunk counts as 3 points and a 3 point shot maybe also counts as 3 points type situation where it
Yeah.
may creates a little bit more equilibrium where people are trying to get that closer to the hoop, type
Yeah.
situation. And then you would have people, because a big complaint, right, is you see guys like, and no shade on these people, these are terrific players, but it is a criticism of them. And Anthony Davis doesn't like dunk the ball maybe as much as he should,
Mm,
or Joel Embiid doesn't dunk the ball as much as he
yeah.
should. You hear that, versus like, because people always compare to like a Shaq,
Yeah.
like Shaq was every time trying to put you under the rim type situation.
100%.
And so it maybe gives people like that a little bit more motivation to say, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to, flush this type
Yeah.
situation. And that way the reviews, how they review
Yeah.
everything now, the reviews can be, was that actually a dunk versus like when Dwight Howard like threw the ball in the rim or like Anthony Edwards, some of his
Yeah.
more impressive dunks is more like a throw into the rim.
Mhm.
Like making rules, you have to like flush the ball through the rim and then touch the rim with your hand. That's what counts
Yeah.
as a
That would
dunk
be a
type
true dunk.
situation.
Yeah.
I think that could be an interesting thing to play around with in like an all-star game or a preseason
Yeah.
game and see like how it goes. But again, the statistical area is going to be taken care of. The
Yeah.
NBA wants to make sure that the guys who are playing feel that there's an opportunity for them to break records. So you
Mhm.
see just records and records being broken from, 3-point shots, Steph Curry just consistently breaking his own record.
Yeah.
Or LeBron James in the point situation,
Mhm.
other people, the scoring championship or the scoring league. Now you see so many guys who are scoring 30, scoring 40, scoring
Yeah.
50, right? Like it used to be such an anomaly for somebody to score 50 points. And now it's like every other night you turn on Sports
It's
Center.
more regular.
Yeah.
Guys are getting better. Like they're getting better at shooting threes. They're getting better with their ball handling. They're getting better at drawing fouls.
Yeah.
Like it's completely different. Like drawing fouls is like now an
It's an
art.
art. It's an art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like similar to the way that guys will like draw cards in soccer.
Mhm.
Like it's an art the way that you can put yourself in a way to generate points and
Mhm.
opportunities. So I think definitely adding some kind of multiplier on the dunk would be good.
Mhm.
I don't know about layups and stuff. Like people aren't trying to see layups and
Yeah.
hook shots. So definitely being like, okay, we're gonna add this dunk multiplier
Mhm.
to like change the game. I think that would definitely incentivize scoring inside more.
Yeah.
But then
And or even moving the 3-point line further, like, and
that's
not that
far
guys
though.
wouldn't just adapt and start launching it from there, which would make the
Yeah.
game maybe even worse potentially. But it's just either having a cap on amount of threes you can shoot, the way you have a cap on fouls,
Yeah.
that could work too, where it's
Yeah.
like you get 25 threes in a game. 25, like, and the people on your bench have to kind of keep track. Okay, in the first quarter we shot 8, so we only have this many left. Save some for the fourth quarter. We might
Yeah.
have to come back. Like that would make it such a chess game,
Or they would, yeah, like the NBA would just keep track. Like the refs would be like, all right, y'all are.
Yeah, yeah. Similar to fouls, and then
Yeah,
like
they would
if
keep it
you
as a
shoot a
stat.
three, it's a technical foul
Yeah,
type situation. So
yeah,
that would require more IQ of the game.
yeah.
Guys would have to be like, okay, we only have this many threes. We're down by this much. We can't use our threes the same way as if you have 5 fouls or four
Hmm.
fouls. It's like, how much am I going to press up here? How much should I reach
Yeah,
before I'm out of the game? That would be interesting.
that would be good. I
Yeah,
definitely want to see more going to the basket,
yeah.
100%, and obviously the viewers do too because they're starting to now watch.
Yeah, and guys protect themselves. That's the ultimate thing. It's
Mm.
you can never blame a human who plays a sport for protecting themselves, right? Like if we're volleyball players, we're not going to purposefully like jump underneath the net,
Yeah,
trying to see where the risk is, but for a basketball player and a football player, and a hockey person, they've gotten more savvy. Football players are like, all right, if I touch the quarterback like this, I'm going to get a penalty. So I'm
yeah.
going to try to avoid touching the quarterback like that. And quarterbacks go, okay, I feel a little more comfort doing this and this and this. Wide receivers know,
Hmm.
if this person touches me like this, I'm going to get the pass interference flag. So let me
Yeah.
try to create some of that contact. And basketball players are like, look, if I shoot threes, I get more points and less injury risk. So why would I not shoot more threes?
I just got to catch and shoot
Yeah,
half
so there
count.
has to be incentive other than the millions of dollars they're getting paid apparently to go to the rim.
And the
So
way more than
yeah,
whatever they were getting in the past
yeah.
too.
So it's got to be incentive. It's got to be like we said. I think those are two great ideas. Incentivize dunking. Like you
Hmm.
would get an extra point for dunking,
Yeah,
or maybe like if you dunk a ball, you also get a free throw, something like that.
yeah, something attached to it.
And then like a chance at another point. And then if you let somebody dunk, they automatically get a free throw. So it's almost like an and one without anybody getting a foul. Like if you let somebody dunk, they get to go to the free throw line and get a chance at another point. Maybe that could work, rather than it
Okay.
just being automatic 3 points.
Mm.
And then the 3 point line, maybe that would be a good idea. It would totally slow down the game, but
If you
so
extended it, yeah.
if you shoot a three, you get two. but then you get a chance to go to the line, you get an extra point. But it'd have to be played like speedball, for that to be interesting,
Yeah,
because
because
the game
that
can't
would
slow
slow
down.
down. Yeah, that
The
would slow
whole
down the
thing
game
people
a
are
ton.
interested in is like the game being faster.
Yeah.
The thing that's hard for sports, if you look at the baseball pitch clock, it's like when things started slowing down, people were like, "Oh my gosh, like this needs to
You
speed
put
up."
me to bed.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Okay, so NBA, um, two unassuming teams have been killing it this year. So not to say they weren't good in the past in terms of the Oklahoma City Thunder, but you have the Cleveland Cavaliers are crushing it in the league right now. 33
Yeah,
and 4, not really losing. I don't believe they've lost to a single team in the West yet.
I don't think so.
Their only losses coming to East Coast teams, and they beat the number one seed in the West a few days ago, which is the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're playing just fluid. They've got
Mhm.
Donovan Mitchell, who's their team leader, Darius Garland. Those are their two guards. Both of them capable of scoring. Both of them cat quick, super
Yeah.
fast. Their bigs have been playing really well. Jaron Allen, one of the best bigs in the league right now in terms of cleaning up the glass, finishing balls at the rim. Making savvy passes. A big time player for them who's been doing well is the guy from SC,
Which
Mobley.
one? Oh, Mobley.
Mobley.
Yeah, Evan.
He's been like stepping into his role and doing well. And they've got just three shooters who come off the bench, maybe even four, who do really well, plus the guy from the Nets who they picked up,
Which one?
the 6'7" defender. He used to start for the Nets.
I don't know who you're talking
Um,
about. I gotta see
yeah,
that guy. Who you talking
yeah. What
about?
is his name? Shoot. Yeah, no disrespect. Let's see. The guy from the Nets. We Did you find
You
him?
talking about Jerome? Or you talking about
No,
Strauss?
no. Let's
Or you
see.
talking about Karis LeVert?
Yeah, Karis LeVert.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He
LeVert
used to play
for the
for the
Nets.
Nets
Yeah.
and just like was starting at the Nets and doing well. And he's
Hmm.
like their seventh man now,
Yeah.
and does great for them. Long, super long,
You
gets in
gotta play your
defensive lanes
role.
for sure. Know your role, play your position.
You gotta play your role. It is what it is.
Totally. And then Tristan Thompson, who
Mm,
he's like known as, OG leader guy. He's done some broadcast stuff
rebounder.
and then gone back, So they've got the total package right now and they're doing well. So they'd have to stay healthy like any team, but they're rolling really well. So
34 and
that being
4.
said, what do you believe, gives teams the edge as we get closer to the playoffs for basketball? Like, you look at this thing that we've talked about. All right, there's so many good teams, so many good players.
Yeah.
You could be legitimately now an eighth seed, go in and play a one seed, beat them 4-0, and people wouldn't be that surprised. They would
Yeah.
go like, "Whoa, that happened!" But I could see that happening.
Yeah.
That's how good teams are now. So, what, in your opinion, just watching sports and watching the NBA specifically, do you think it'll take for a team to pull off a championship? Leave out the health piece. That goes without saying.
One is just shot making,
Hmm.
right? Because you look at any shooting, any basketball in college, high school, whatever, it's who's getting open shots and then also who's hitting the open shots.
Right.
So that's the first part. But the next part is team chemistry.
Hmm.
You got to make sure that the team is flowing together. They want to play together.
Hmm.
They're trying to follow the coach. They're following the leader of the team.
Hmm.
That's what you'll notice. Like teams that are really together, they'll push through when the situation gets tough.
For sure.
Like those are the like two things that I look at and I'm like, okay, that's a team that could win the championship.
For sure. For sure. I agree with that. So who do you have right now? We're pretty early in the season. It's hard to say, but who do you have going to the Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals? It's four teams to pick.
Uh, Eastern, obviously, the Cavs, the Celtics.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I see the Bucks getting in there,
Mm.
and the surprising team is actually the Magic. I'm really surprised they're playing
Yeah,
super
Paulo
well.
Banchero's coming
Yeah,
back.
he's
So if you
unstoppable.
were to pick two of those teams just for Eastern Conference Finals, who would you pick?
Mm, definitely the Cavs and the Celtics
Cavs, Celtics.
for
All right.
sure.
How about Western Conference Finals?
Mm,
A little tougher.
yeah, because nobody really planned that good except for the Thunder.
Yeah.
So the Thunder in the Western Conference are the only team that has single digit losses.
Right.
So they have 6 losses. The next closest is the Rockets, and they have 12 losses.
Right.
So that one's gonna be hard. Obviously, Thunder is in first, but uh, I still like the Mavericks
Okay.
in the
Mm.
mix.
Once they get healthy. Right now they
Yeah,
don't have Luca or Kyrie.
yeah, but I think them being healthy, like they're a very hard team to deal with.
I would agree. Okay.
What about you?
Let me take a look. Gosh, pretty tricky.
They all got the same record, like
Yeah.
two through
Whew.
5, 2 through 6, like
Yeah,
have
there are
about
some
the same
teams doing
record. About
badly. Okay. I'm gonna go with Western Conference. Wow. All right. I'm gonna say Western Conference Finals is Lakers
Okay.
and does that match up on that side of the bracket? Thunder. One place six. Lakers and Thunder is who I'm gonna go with. I could totally see the Warriors making a late run and figuring it
Hmm.
out, but they
They've been
struggle
having
in the
problems.
big like yeah, like the guard play is okay, for the Warriors, but they struggle from like the big standpoint and it's
I
it's
don't
tough
think
to
they
recover.
ever like, and I don't think they ever focus on like getting like super quality bigs. Like they've never focused on like,
No, their game has been like run and gun, but now other teams have kind of caught up to that same system, but they're
yeah,
bigger.
yeah,
Other teams have the same system, but they're bigger. They used to get over that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson would play defense,
yeah,
Draymond would play defense, Steph Curry would run around like and cause attention, and they would just make shots and get on
yeah.
hot streaks. But now, yeah, it's like other teams play the same way.
They had that one year or those few years where I think they had JaVale McGee. Like
Hmm.
other than that, they haven't had like bigs. Everybody else has been like 6'8", 6'9". Like they're not getting the bigger players, and I'm like, you always got to keep somebody close to 7 foot on your roster, like
Hmm.
somebody who jumps really well.
Yeah,
So that's a weird one.
man. Yeah, everybody is like right around that same record. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
like everybody from like 2 through 8, 2 through 9, literally has like 20 wins and like 12 to 17, 18
Man, the
losses.
Suns fell off. They started out well. Went to like 5-0 at the beginning of the season. Yeah,
Yeah,
they fell
but
off.
everybody knows like just because you got superstars doesn't mean you're gonna gel.
That's right. That's
Like
right.
that's just how it
You hit
works.
that on the head.
Yeah.
So, those are interesting teams. All right. So, college football, we're in the mix of it right now.
Wait, what? Did you pick your East?
Did I pick my East?
I don't think you picked your
Oh,
East.
Celtics and Cavs for sure. Like that's
Okay.
yeah. Celtics and Cavs. There's a chance I could see the Knicks sliding in, like getting hot at the right time. I don't. I right now I don't believe in the Bucks. Like I think Giannis is a really good player. Dame is a really great player.
Hmm.
I worry about them having like more than that. I think Bobby Portis shows up,
Yeah.
too in clutch time, but I worry about them having more than that.
That's it.
Like
Yeah, they've always had issues with the supporting cast.
yeah, like depth is
100%.
huge in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like you run out of gas, and especially if Damian Lillard's a smaller guard and he crushes it, but he's not like, hounding on you defensively in your
Mm-mm.
space. Like, and that's what the playoffs is about. It's like the Cavaliers right now. We'll see if they can keep it going, but like watching them, they are like in your lanes, in your space, consistently
Playing
up in you,
defense. Yeah.
and their pace is like out
It's
of this
fast.
world. Yeah, it's easy to say at the beginning of the season. They haven't even hit the All-Star break yet, but
Mm.
man, Donovan Mitchell's on a mission too. We'll see.
Trying to get that shit.
Exactly. So that's what it is.